Thank you, Bruce. Freescale, as you know, is a globally operating company, and we have design centers around the world, and it's a captive model that has been primarily followed by us. A couple of years ago, when I started my business unit, I wanted to experiment with offshore product development, and let me distinguish between offshore versus outsourced. I think the captive model is offshored, and outsourced is when you go to a third party. A couple of reasons why I looked to India for that. We had already developed a prototype of the tool, and the tool is to enable our customers of our silicon to come up to speed faster and add productivity. We stretched the limits of engineering design tools trying to do the graphical interface to make it user-friendly. And so the thought came to me, well, India is known for IT. Java is a predominant skill set here. The engineering skill sets in India are also growing. This was an opportunity to experiment to see how you could combine the Java skill sets with an engineering skill set. And there was another ulterior motive too. Throughout this last 2 days, I've heard a lot about how the service providers need to learn about their customers and how to service their customers. Maybe a unique perspective I have. I wanted to learn how to deal with service providers in a very different perspective, not from an engineering services perspective, but from a more collaborative perspective of trying to do product development. And to me, that was, before we took big steps and made huge investments, that was a learning curve we had to undergo and fully understand how to specify, how to build relationships. So that was part of the motivation and a pilot for us. Now, having said that, what I wanted to do was, I can talk a little bit about the experience there. I started that 2 years ago. We have just come to our 2-year agreement, the end of our 2-year agreement, and I'm happy to say that it was a positive enough agreement that we are now going to extend it. So we have successfully launched products out of our India center, offshore center. And maybe, Bruce, I'll come back to talking about the experience, or maybe some audience has questions. But what I would like to do is maybe take a little higher level perspective, because the title is Global Technology Development. And I'm coming from a narrow perspective of automotive and also embedded systems. Be careful, I'm talking embedded systems, not embedded software. It's two different things. I see a tremendous opportunity, and I see a tremendous opportunity for India because I think I see a convergence of IT and engineering that is going to be driven by all the competitive drivers in this world. It's collaboration, it's cycle time, it's productivity. And the area which has fascinated me just from a recent perspective is the area of product lifecycle management. And I'd probably hope that Ajit talks a little bit about that. So what I see is an emerging opportunity for IT services and engineering services from the electronics engineering systems, embedded systems perspective, that is driven by lifecycle management from concept to design to production to end of life. And in the automotive, that's a 15-year cycle. The mechanical aspects of this has already come close to maturing, but the electronics portion of it is still in its infancy. So I see a huge opportunity for that. It's an opportunity that is also driven by the need of globalization. We talk about running global design centers. There's a huge need to collaborate. And the collaboration backplane has to be on the IT side. IT is the enabler for that. But it's not just doing it from an IT perspective. I think a more innovative approach would be to approach it from an engineering perspective, but using the IT technology. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. Mechanical is a very homogeneous domain. Embedded systems is a fractal domain. If I focus just on software, I will be missing the boat because software runs on hardware. The hardware controls some plant. In order to control the plant, it has to sense something. What ties all of this together is electromechanical wiring, relays. So it's multi-domain. And in order for it all to function, there needs to be very close collaboration and concurrent engineering going on across all of these domains. So taking a traditional approach of product lifecycle management by trying to manage documentation or files and just trying to create different views is not the right approach. So I see there's an opportunity to innovate in this area. Another opportunity to innovate, there's been a lot of discussion on capacity, not enough engineers. I don't think there will be ever enough engineers because the human mind is so creative and we will continue to create and drive things. So how can we impact the capacity problem? Well, one of the ways we as a silicon company are trying to impact that is by developing tools that act as a multiplier to automate some of the design. So I heard a lot about process automation. I think there's an opportunity to do design automation. And if I look at the landscape, most of the EDA companies reside outside India. So I think there's an opportunity for the entrepreneurial spirit here to go create some unique value. And there's a couple of other reasons for that. I think there's a huge domestic market. If indeed all these projections are going to come true, you're going to have millions of engineers here providing engineering services. That's a local market. And today one of the inhibitors to doing engineering services is the cost of tools that are bought from overseas. So I think there's a market opportunity there.